So there is a big gap between the future of AI, what AI will do for us one day, and the practical real-world application in our business world today. So in other words, apart from all the fancy AI stuff, video generation, image generation, what is it actually that we can do today? So for this video, I've built a whole trade show app with a no-code tool, and I applied some artificial intelligence in my workflow to give you a very easy and practical example, so no need to wait for one day. Stick around and I'm going to show you some exciting stuff. And if you're new here, I'm Christian. I help companies work much smarter by teaching and implementing AI and workflow automation. The problem is it's quite overwhelming to catch up with the latest technology and always knowing which approach to apply, which tools to implement in order to automate processes and apply AI technology. For the moment, I see three common ways to apply AI at work. Number one, the manual approach. I go to ChatGPT and I want to find some inspiration, some text, some translation, some small decisions, some corrections, and I take the results and I bring it somewhere else, wherever I'm doing the work. Number two, AI is already built in the software I'm using. A good example is Notion. Google with its product suite, Google Docs, helps you to do your work better, to write better texts by directly integrating some solutions in their product, which is very handy. You don't need to switch tools, you don't need to set up anything, it helps you on the fly. And then there's number three, integrating AI directly in your digital workflows. And this is where things get really interesting. This is where we have real leverage, because we're touching those high volume repetitive workflows, tasks, where we can really start saving time and work smarter. Now the thing is, on one side, it is harder to implement those AI automations. It requires a bit more of a learning curve. But on the other side, this is where the real heavy lifting can be given away to those AI models, helping us save a ton of time, a ton of money, and deliver much better quality. Now, be it you work in e-commerce and you have to process a lot of orders, returns, customer requests, or you are in the software as a service business and you want to send out personalized emails to your churn customers, or you're working in sales and you want to automate your sales pipeline, score leads, craft personalized messages, prepare any kind of information for your prospects, or you work in accounting and you just have to handle a sheer amount of data and manually enter data in systems, or HR and you have to handle a lot of requests from employees. And frankly, it can be anything in any department, any process where we work with a lot of data, decisions, and documents. Now let's come to part two, the good news. There is currently a race for AI automation in the technology sector, and the result is that it leads to big innovation and extremely declining learning curves. In other words, we can say it is becoming easier and easier to actually use these AI models in my day-to-day operations. And the very interesting part is there's software to create software, your own software that you can apply in your business. Those are called no-code tools. And those companies are more and more integrating AI models in their product themselves. So it helps you to build simple AI automations more and more internally. You might have heard already of some tools like Zapier, Airtable. Those are very good examples of easy to begin with. You can get started and then explore how this tool can more and more help you for, let's say, starting with easy processes to something a bit more sophisticated. Now let's come to my favorite part, part three, a practical example. And for my example, I used Glide, which is a no-code builder. So it's a company that provides a software with which you can create software for your own organization. And most of these no-code tools are made up of three main components. The first one are the tables. This is where you organize your data. Think of it as working in a spreadsheet. The second is the interface, which is the bridge to your data. It's presented in a much more user-friendly way. You can share it with your coworkers. They can change partial data somewhere here and there in your spreadsheet. And then the last part are the automation. This is the question, what can I do with the data? Can I send it to another tool? Can I update it? What happens if I update a row? What happens if I click that button here? And that is where a lot of power lies, because from your data and from a simple interface, it gives your solution superpowers. And Glide is a great example of making the application of AI easier and easier. So let's look under the hood. Let's look how this thing works. So if I go to my Glide interface, and this is my trade show app, an example here, I want this to do a simple job for now. I want to organize all my leads, all the people that I meet during the show. I want to be able to scan their business card, use AI to extract the data and send it to the right columns and fields in my spreadsheet. And I want to be able to sync it back to my CRM. There is my interface where I want to be able to work with my information and data. I have my spreadsheets, if you will, the data, the tables, where I define exactly what are the data points. What is it I want to extract from a business card? What is it I want to save in a company? I might have some custom fields, custom data I want to store on the company. So here's my first example. What I wanted to do is I want to be able to add a new contact via a business card. I want to take a picture of a business card and immediately add it to the system here. And as I don't want it to stupidly add an image of a business card that then I can look at, I want to have the data, I want to have the text from this business card. So you can see I have my tab here called contacts. This is where I store information, typical information I would expect from a contact. And I have my tab here called actions, where I've prepared an automation, a sequence of actions. What I wanted to do when every time I'm somewhere and I'm meeting someone, I take a picture of a business card, I want to submit the picture and have it run through this exact sequence. So I have a bit of AI steps here where I extract the text and put it in the right column. And at the end, I even want to add a company in my company table because a contact belongs to a company. So let's test it. Let's see it in action. And I will upload a new business card. You can see I have an example here. Emily Bates, she's a designer. This is how it works. Now it's uploading the image. And as soon as I click submit, my automation sequence is running in the background. And in a second, we should have the data appear right. So the AI perfectly understood, well, first of all, perfectly extracted the text, but also knew exactly what is a name here, what is an email address, what is a company name, what is a phone number, a website, and so on. And it added it to the database. And here I have my perfect view. Everything is done already. No need to create anything manually. And I'm right now in the builder of Glide. I can also use my app on my computer, in my browser. And now I want to show you the second AI feature where I have a button here to record a voice note, because I might want to add some specific information. I'm on the go. I don't really want to type on my phone, but I want to capture as much information as possible. And so I'm using this record component here. And let's do an example. Findings in a much more efficient way. Okay, and now I ended my recording. You can see that it's uploading it now to the system here. You can see now here 3 bullet points. Emily is a designer running a design agency, and so on. And yeah, so in my example, just to finish my job now, so I'm at the show, I collect leads, I summarize information about them. They're now ready to be sent to my CRM. And I'm using HubSpot as a CRM. You can see it here. That's my example CRM where I store all my contacts. And so what I do is I added this button here to my interface. You can see here on the left side, you have your components that are added to this page here, which is, we can call it the contact detail page. I can see everything about Emily Bates. And at the end, I have a button which does something. So that has an action. And you can see here on the right-hand side, I want this button, when it's clicked, to create a new contact in HubSpot. And the only thing now I need to do is a bit of field mapping. So I want to say the first name, which is a term for HubSpot, such as company name. So this is where it refers to my columns. My column here, I can choose it. You can see I can directly, this is the view. This is everything I have on a contact. So I can choose from a list of columns here. And so I have my name, I have my company column, and I have my email column. So then that's it. Now everything comes together and our final functionality, adding our contact to HubSpot, is ready. So we have our button, we have our contact here, and let's pretend we've added everything we wanted to add before we sync it with our CRM. And as I said, I'm using HubSpot here as my CRM. So if we go here, it's currently having 3 contacts. And so I'm ready now. And now I want to send everything back to HubSpot. And here we go. We have our button. We just need to click it and it's sending the contact now to HubSpot. And we should be able to see our new contact here in HubSpot. We refresh and there we go. And everything is synced. Now we could further work on this contact here in our CRM. This is where the work starts now. But in order to get here quicker, we used our custom software with some AI automation to do the heavy lifting of getting all the data. And that is it. That's my demo. And now you might say scanning business cards is maybe a fairly simple process, or there are already solutions on the market that can help with that. That is perfectly right. My point is just, what if you are not scanning a business card? What if you're scanning very complex documents? What if you need very custom data on these people? What if you want to already prepare quotes for these people because they're interested in some products that you have in your catalog? What if you want to connect this whole thing to your catalog and your CRM? That's where custom solutions that are very easy to build get very interesting. I hope this gave you some imagination how you can automate processes in your company, in your team. And if you're wondering whether anything of that could be interesting for you, what I always recommend to ask yourself is, where are we making very simple decisions? Where are we handling lots of information? Where do we have a lot of repetitive tasks? Where are we processing the same information over and over again? Where do we need some kind of categorization of contacts, of whatever? Where do we need some kind of ranking? These are all very good indicators that probably within this chain of tasks, there is something we can outsource to an AI, and those questions might help you identifying. Now, if you want to challenge me with your very own complicated workflow process, I'm happy to hear about it. I'm happy to hear any feedback. Reach out to me if you have questions, christian@magicbreeze.ai. And that is it. Have a great day and see you in the next video.